Hi. I'm up on the Sauk River, which is a tributary of the Skagit, which runs into the sea at Puget Sound north of Seattle. It's a beautiful little section of river here. I've never fished it. But here I am in the rain doing what silly fishermen do. I need to sit down here for a minute and talk to you guys. There's something coming up that's kind of big. It's important to me. Might be important to some of you. I wanted you to know that I'm not coming back to Effie after Christmas. I'm coming back to do my grades, clean up my stuff and stuff like that. But I have resigned my position. And that comes as a surprise. It came as the realization came as a surprise to me. It was pretty sudden. And I initiated it. It was my doing. And it doesn't reflect anything about the school or you. Nothing at all. It's all about where I am in my life. And I wanted to share that with you because it's kind of a big deal. To me, of course. I don't know who my replacement's going to be. I think for the short term it's probably going to be Josh, but I don't know. He's looking for a replacement for the year. Let me sit down here. All right. I thought you guys deserve an explanation. Some of you guys won't mind. That's okay. I know. Some of you guys are going to be surprised. Maybe a little disappointed. I don't know. I want you to know that this has nothing to do with you guys. I've been at Effie in Alaska now for a decade. And I've stayed because of you. You guys, the students. You're the best thing about this whole thing. You're the reason why I'm here. That hasn't changed. But there's some things in my life that have changed, and I'm going to be straightforward about them so you can understand how difficult this is for me, and you can see an adult deal with adult level stuff, because that's important for you to know that it isn't easy for us. For years I've told you that life doesn't get easier, but you get better at it. Well, I'm at one of those crossroads right now. And I think it's straightforward if I share with you what's going on. There's three things that kind of came together in my mind. Two lingering ones, and then my dad. My dad is the thing that changed everything. Let me start with my dad, because my dad's turned 91 this year on Christmas Day. And let's back up a second. It's not surprising. I mean, I'm having a hard time with words right now, but when I think back over this year, it's not COVID that has changed anything really for me. I mean, it sucks, but this has been a year for me and for the Effie family of loss, deep and profound loss. We've lost 5 kids, 4 former students and 1 active student, Ashton. We've lost 5 students in the last 16 months. We've been rocked as a staff, as a group of people that love kids. We've been rocked. This last May, I lost my close cousin Rick. He was 83, 84 years old, maybe, I don't know, old. But we were close. He moved up, and he was part of our family at every Thanksgiving and Christmas table for the last 20 years. And I am staying at his house right now. I'm driving his car right now. We're close, intellectually close, emotionally close. And he died of old age. And then 2 months later, I found myself back in Friday Harbor, and I'm nursing my mom in the final 6 weeks of her life, and she died on July 24th. This is kind of one of those transitional times in my life. thought about it in the abstract, and it's kind of coming to fruition. It's real. My dad turned 91 on Christmas Day, and his health has been in decline. And he's still mentally sharp, but he's just wearing out. He weighs all of about 115 pounds, and he's on oxygen, and he struggles. And I got home at Christmas time, checking him out, seeing how things are. I mean, I see him 3-4 times a year. And he's still holding his own, but it's one of those things where I feel like I have an obligation to the most graceful man I know, to be there and take care of him when he needs it. He's going to need it soon. And I was talking about him with him about it before Christmas, and he agreed it would be a good idea if I came down. And after talking to my siblings, my older stepbrothers and sisters, it's we're going to do this, I think, after both of us get a COVID vaccine. So it's not immediate, but it's going to be soon, I think. Things could change. I don't know. That was the thing that pushed me over the edge, but there's 2 other pieces here that you need to know about that factored into my decision to not teach at Effie, to make this transition point in my life for the present. I haven't found anybody to be with in Alaska. I keep to myself. When I tell you I don't go to bars and stuff like that, it's true. I don't get out. And I've been on a few dates. The running joke around Effie is that I want somebody with a college degree and teeth. That was Colby's joke. Yeah, you're asking too much. But there's something important to be said for that, about a college degree in a partner. And I've not been able to find it in Alaska. It means that whoever is going to be in a relationship with me, or anybody for that matter, I would hope that they would enter in as a full partner. That they bring their own dreams, skills, aspirations. They bring all of their best stuff to bear when they decide to get into a relationship. And to me, the biggest symbol of that, the indicator of that, is whether they've got an education and a career. And I have dated some people over the years, and they've got a succession of jobs, but no career. They've got a couple of kids from an earlier failed marriage. They're looking for a guy to solve their problem. But even on the second or third go-around, if they're looking for a relationship, they're not really bringing their A game. They're not entering into it with their own skill set. Remember, I have driven it on to you guys for years about the importance of getting skills. And I mean it. Skills make it so that you can get into the relationships you want to, but most importantly, your own skill set means your own security. And that means you can get out of the relationships when they're no longer serving your needs and purposes. It means that you're a full-fledged partner in a relationship. And I've never met anyone that didn't want to be exactly that. I've dated some people for a while, but they've left the state. And I look at my life list, which is the third thing on there, just the sense of it. And I look at the dreams that I have for myself and what I want to accomplish in my life, and the big ones. And I look at my life list. The last one I've made was 2016, and I look at that thing, and I haven't crossed anything off of it. Not really. That's weighing on me. I need to go after this with a conscientiousness if I want my life to be what I want it to be. And that means I can't do what I've always done. You know, that definition of insanity? Doing the same thing and expecting a different result? Yeah, well, maybe to a point that's been me. I'd like to think it isn't, but I haven't really pushed myself outside my comfort zone. And like a dear friend of mine said recently, she said, magic only happens when you're outside your comfort zone. And I just had to smile and shake my head and say, yeah, Kristen, you're pretty right. That's actually pretty right. Did a fish jump? I don't know. Needless to say, my decision crept up on me like kind of a realization. I've grown so much at Effie. I'm a different man because of my experiences at school and working with and serving the community. I've grown so much. You don't really realize how much you guys change us as teachers, but you guys give so much back. I wanted you to know that my decision to leave Effie is not about you. I'm going to miss you more than anything. I'm going to miss you more than anything. I don't want to lose touch with you guys, but I'm being pulled by strong forces and weak, deep forces and shallow. I'm being pulled. And I shouldn't ignore that. You know, we beat ourselves up a lot. I do. I bought a house recently down Chino Hot Springs Road a couple years ago, and I postponed the purchase because, you know, somewhere in the back of my mind I was like, you don't buy a house by yourself. You buy that with someone when you kind of make a life together. And I realized that here I was what, 53 years old, and I'd never asked a woman to marry me. I had never made an opportunity to build a life with somebody, and here I was building a house or buying a house, and I wasn't celebrating. I just signed some papers and started moving in. But I walk into an empty house, and to be quite blunt, I feel like a failure. There's nobody there. And I didn't want that for myself. I don't know if that resonates or that makes any sense to you, but it might if you think about it. I've been practicing this speech in my mind for the last week. I'm going to forget things that I wanted to say. Mostly you guys. I'm so humbled and so grateful for everything you've given me. The part of me that doesn't want to leave is always about you. It's you guys I don't want to leave. I wish I could take the best parts of Effie, which is you, and be happier in my personal life. You know, COVID kind of did wake me up a little bit this spring. When we went back in March, we didn't come back from spring break. We spent the rest of the year basically on isolation and quarantine and lockdown. God, I told Josh afterwards, here I am rattling around my house by myself, and I'm interacting with 5 or 6 of you per day on Zoom. And I said to Josh at the end of the school year, hey, if we got to do this again, I need to come to school. I need people in my life. I don't have to be interacting with people all the time, but I just want voices down the hall. I need to hear laughter or footsteps or something, because this was not good for me and my mental health. And I would be wrong to say that. I mean, it'd be wrong if I didn't say that to Josh and to you. What it did was it told me that my relationships with you guys is what's been keeping me sane. And that told me that my life is quite out of balance. I should be filling it with other people's laughter. I should be having a personal life that's rich and fulfilling, and I'm not having that. That was a realization. Josh knows about that. We talked. So maybe COVID did play a part in it. What it fundamentally means to me is that I'm going to have to do something I've never done before. I feel like I've taken my life and I've given notice. I'll be there for the first week of January, but not any longer than that. And then I've taken my life and I basically put it inside of a snow globe and I've shaken it up. And it's scary. I'd be lying if I didn't tell you it was scary. I wanted to at least be honest with you about what's going on with me and inside my bent mind, my crazy head. I hope you can forgive me. I want you in my lives. The best part about summer sometimes is when you guys light up my phone asking me questions. It means I'm connected to you, and I like that. I don't know what I'm going to do without that. So please, rattle my cage. Let me know what you're dealing with. Send me a draft paper and say, edit this for me, something. Just, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have you in my life. Guess I'm going to find out. Am I scared? Yeah, a little bit. A little bit, I am. But I think it's probably useful if you watch an adult deal with transitions in a straightforward and honest way. I think you should learn from what I'm going through and what motivates me. You should be honest. I'm starting to repeat myself, and I'm sorry. You guys mean the world to me. And you deserve the honest truth, and there it is. You've taught me so much grace and perseverance. You're tougher than you know, people.